gentlemen, anyone that's watching, this is the start.
Okay.
Okay, so we are live. Games. They weren't streamed before. Setting up the stream. The Stafford Eagles versus Rangers. Stafford Women's Derby finished 18-6. And the game on this score was...
The score was 17-5 for the Storm versus Storm game. So Storm 1's got 17, Storm 2's got 5. Yeah, pretty good matchup. First National League of the season. We've got some great games ahead, haven't we, Greg?
Yeah, we've had a long summer, plenty of international dodgeball throughout. This game on this court, we have Stafford Raptors, the promoted team against the powerhouse women's super Leamington.
Yeah, it should make for an interesting game. Raptors have a few new names this season, it looks like. A few also people that have come back from retirement, is that right?
It is, yeah. Edmund, a name in around the European and world. Used to play better and retired into a bit more fitness lifestyle. And dodgeball isn't a fitness lifestyle, but there's a lot. Now comes back and joins his Stafford Raptors.
And they hold on that first rally. Great dodging, but one hit there on Raptors.
Heads to the outdoor start. Games 15-minute half, 30-minute games.
Good block there.
Very aggressive. Only
Definitely.
a single ball thrown.
Look like we're going for a counter, but a good block there. Spartan. Oh, they've got 3 balls. And it looks like they're going for a lot of single balls at the moment, which is a good safe bet. They're up by 1 player. It seems like we're having some mic issues. We'll try and sort that out quickly. Single ball, great dodge there, almost a line fault, but number 5 is back up from Stafford Raptors and she's taken the wing. 2 balls on Spartan's side. Looks like 1 ball's gone off court, so they're waiting for that to come back in. We've gone ahead and done the play anyway. And ball has flown back on court over to Stafford Raptors. All 3 balls released there, and they've gone for a double counter but missed. So now Spartans have 3 balls, Raptors have 2. A nice steady pace here, isn't it, Greg, for the first set?
Yeah, it's that first set that.
Oh, almost a catch. Yep. Oh, another missed catch there from Stafford Raptors. Oh, hit there from Raptors and a hit back from Spartans. Now we're 3v3, so that's a draw on the first set. That'll be 1 point each.
Nixon does get that hit on late on in the set, but the running counter from Sports later. That first set on set point. After those 3 minutes, if they play out, both teams have the same amount of players, both teams.
There's a few new rule changes as well, isn't there, this season, Greg? So players have to start with one foot on court and the other foot on the line. Is that right?
Yep. Something that is probably come from the sort of old dodge. Slightly played a smaller neutral zone, so people that are in and around you and themselves. That means what we do. Sometimes really sort of home is.
A bit more consistent with the world rules then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I think that's what we start to see a lot. We'll start having a rule set that is played in and around the world. Playing at high level. Obviously,
a great catch there from Lisa Storch. And she dodged 3 balls. So now Spartans coming up with 3 balls. Oh, hit there. Player 5 went for a catch, but just clipped the shoulder.
And although that first set obviously ended in a tie, this set definitely in the favour of Spartans.
Absolutely. Both Raptors players have a ball, can protect themselves to a certain extent. And they're going in for the counter. Oh, that's an unfortunate block there.
Now Spartans only.
So 3 balls now on Spartan side. I think Spartans are doing well to keep hold of the balls as and when they can, because that provides them a lot of protection there. Okay, great dodge. Great dodge there from Holly Edmonds. Right, Spartans 5 players, Raptors left with 1 player. Just putting a good effort in there. So Holly Edmonds has come back from retirement. If we're still having mic issues, Greg's mic is very quiet. Here we go. We'll just shift the mic over.
We'll share one mic. That might be a little smarter idea. So
let us know if you can hear us both all right at this point. And that's time on the second set. That goes to Spartans. Our score is 3-1. So stepping on the court, that's a new rule. There's also a new rule about retrievers, is that right? So a retriever error is now called a turnover, as far as I'm aware. And
it's still that you ask for how many balls it is, right?
Yeah,
but
that's
the play
right.
isn't
That's
stopped.
right, exactly. So if there's a retriever error, the other team gets to choose the new distribution of balls. But one other minor change to the retrievers is that players and coaches in the outbox can touch the ball. So if the balls do go towards the outbox, players there can just help push this back on. One more quick point is that retrievers now can ball off court and pass it on to players as long as it does not delay the play.
Something that we see sort of in foam, that we've seen for a long time.
Yeah.
That
great catch there.
Yeah. It's that experience that they'll have, and now they've got 5 balls. And a team, when you've got 5 balls in hand, you're looking at least that minimum 1 or 2 hit.
Oh, yeah, that's 1 hit there. Oh, is that catch made? No.
I think it gets the hit and then obviously pops up. Catch is obviously there, but it's bounce first, and that ball is then a dead ball.
Oh, great dodge from Elisa right there. 3 balls at her, but she managed to dodge 3. Now Spartans with good block. Now double counter, but decided to hold. Now release from Raptors. 3 balls.
Yeah, those 2 balls on the wing for Bateman and Dixon, but they look to make an attack, but decide against it. Dixon then releases, takes out Ellie Mans. That's a Take out Becky Harper, sorry. That's a good hit for them.
Spartans still up by 1 player at this point, but Raptors are doing well at holding their own. Right, glad that the mic issues are now partially resolved.
We'll try and sort that second mic out when Techman Alex Such isn't done with refereeing, and a big thank you to Alex Such for obviously setting up the streams. It's something that a lot of people want to see. It's sort of pushing that sport into the limelight a little more.
We'll have a lot of different commentators throughout the day, so yeah, we'll have coverage of the Women's Super League, Men's Super League and the Men's League One.
And if you're not already subscribed to British Dodgeball,
please go ahead and subscribe.
Exactly, what have you been doing?
And turn those notifications on as well, because we'll have 3 different live streams today. We're going to... Oh, that's a hit there on Raptors. Yeah, we'll have 3 different live streams, 1 for each league that we're streaming, so if you're interested in one or the other, if you turn the notifications on, you'll see when they all go live.
And that double throw there from Raptors does take out Barrington. It's that 1 high, 1 low throw that a lot of teams, especially in the European team, favour.
Great block there.
Yeah, nice block from Ford.
Oh, there. Raptors player, and that set goes to Spartans again. I have to say, Raptors do have very strong blocking in the wings. Yeah, it's quite promising. Both Debbie Bateman and Ellie Ford, they've had quite a few balls thrown at them, and they're doing a great job of blocking themselves safe. And I think survival is quite key in moments, aren't they, Greg?
Yeah, for sure. I think, like we said early on in these games, it's that assessing the other team that you're looking for. You know, you're trying to see that where those balls are coming from throughout the game. Obviously, Raptors starting to read a lot better into Spartans. Obviously, they probably would have seen Spartans play a lot. However, have Spartans seen as much as Raptors as they'd liked? I know they're definitely a team that like to do their revision and they watch play-by-plays, and that's a nice catch. Really nice catch from Harry Bignell there. Obviously, one of those transfers that has been made over the summer from London Storm. Maybe a bit of inexperience there from the Raptors. They're looking for those balls. Barrington just fires a single ball.
Gone out of court there. That's straight in.
And it's those ball retrievers that are constantly on their toes. It's quite an underappreciated job, I'd say.
Good decision there from Lindsay. Not fish for that ball.
Now 3 balls in the hands of Raptors. 2 players down. Or at 5-1 to Spartans.
Great block. Ellie Ford.
That high press, they get those balls back in their hands. Becky Harper to the back of the court.
Just skimmed her back there.
Yeah.
So it's just Ellie Ford left on Raptors' side. So Spartans going strong. 4 players on court.
Good 1-for-1 trade, and that's what you want to be looking at. You're making sure you're punishing the opposing team. That when that player opposite you is trying to take someone else out, you're punishing them by throwing your single ball.
They have chosen to go for that double counter, and it's paid off.
Maybe Ford looking for that first ball that comes in a little early from Barrington, but she can't quite get low enough to pick that one up. So with 1 minute 40 left on this first half clock, Spartans 7-1 up.
Spartans released that third ball, so now they've got 2. Sorry, not Spartans, Raptors. There we go. Spartans now have 3 balls. A lot of pressure there from Spartans. Players, things do seem to be very heat team are unlucky there. Went for the catch, but number 97 shoulder.
Pops up. Obviously, when that ball is still a live ball, so if it hits the opposing teams and come back to your side, if you're taking that catch, that is a successful catch.
Great block once again, but unfortunate catch over there.
Yeah, got to be.
Dixon.
Yeah, got to be thrown at the same target there. Harry Bignell, that is bread and butter. She's always looking at taking those single ball catches. He shows that off just there.
29 seconds left in the half. Looks like Spartans are up at the moment, but things could change.
That experience, though, you'd like to see them close out the set. And Barrington looks for the catch. It comes right at her, and she doesn't manage to pick that up. She'll be disappointed with that because I know she'll like to take that single catch.
A few seconds left, only one player up on Spartan's side. Great block there. 3 balls, I think, last chance now. 35 seconds left. Oh, catch from Spartans there. And a block.
Harry Bignell playing some smart dodgeball there. He'd probably like to take her head off, but decides against it. Maybe playing that smart dodge. Spartans a lot more drilled. The ball pops up.
Nearly a catch, but not quite.
That is a smart throw by Barrington late on there, because obviously that ball pops up. That ball is still live, so any catch that ball is still in the air is a successful one. Barrington just firing that ball just to make sure the ball isn't secured. So that half-time score
is 9-1, I believe. Yeah, so 9 points to Spartans, Raptors. Let's see what the second half will bring. We're just trying the mics at the moment. Right,
so
we're back.
Obviously at that half, Spartans up 9-1. First set, obviously the draw. Both teams took up that 1 set point. Very smart dodgeball, both in that first set. Like we said, you're assessing the other team. At 30 minutes, a long 30 minutes, 2 15-minute halves, 3-minute sets.
That's right. It's a lot longer than Opens, isn't it? Where you've generally got 8-minute halves and 6-minute halves. So yeah, it's a lot more about strategy, isn't it? These games with 15-minute halves, 30-minute time. Obviously, Spartans are quite seasoned. Super League Raptors have just voted. And yeah, they're holding their own, considering it is literally the first match of the season for them. So great that they've gotten a draw there. Some great blocks from the wingers. Obviously, Spartans have made some fantastic catches, and they're quite committed. They've got their double counters very strong.
Yeah, that scoreline obviously favouring how well the game is going for Raptors at 9-1. Only really been a couple of the sets. A lot of them have lasted out for the 3 minutes. Raptors not quite finding sort of the end of the sets that they like to be. That experience that time and time again from Spartans, definitely winning that set for them.
Right. Coming towards the end of half time now. What's your opinion, Greg, on which side of the court is more advantageous? There's obviously the wall on the back side of the court and netting on this side.
So last season, I'd say it's always a tricky one. Last season we had sort of they were like padded triangles at the back on the back wall, which kind of gave an advantage. It would like slow the ball down. A lot of people like playing into the wall because you can play a lot more aggressive. The problem with St George's Park is because there is so much space from the back of the court to the back of the wall, those ball retrievers are picking those balls up a lot easier.
Right.
It's a tough one because I'd say they're somewhat fair. It is, it's marginal, very small margins that obviously separate back wall and the net. Obviously in some other arenas and halls, back wall and net will definitely play a bigger advantage. Here, I wouldn't say huge advantage. A lot of players like playing into the back wall, which it does test your ball retrievers a lot more. You have to play a lot more defensive when you're throwing into net.
Exactly. At the end of the day, both teams do get to play on either side of the match, so hopefully that rises. Oh, beautiful catch there.
That's Harry Bignell. Yeah. She's got number 12 on. She's got Pickering.
Yes, I was thinking that's not Pickering.
No.
Great catch from Harry Bignell. Great dodge there from Barrington.
You don't really need to be going for those catches, I guess, when you've got 6 players, because at the end of the day, you're not bringing anyone in. You obviously are eliminating someone, but it can be very, very tricky in terms of that mental sort of mindset that you're getting into. Every player wants to get into the game by taking a lot more catches.
Oh, what a brilliant catch there. It would not get anyone. Oh no, Elise the scorch has come back on court. So that was a fantastic hit cross court from Lucy Barrington, and it's deflected so high all the way back that Lucy Barrington just caught it back, and Elise back on court.
And it's what we were talking about, obviously, with the back wall, the Spartans girls, where they're thrown into the back wall. Maybe the Raptors, maybe not quite on the same page there. That ball obviously hits the back wall, dribbles all the way back to them.
Balls wrap the side, and they do at least beautiful arc dodge there. As you said, that's bounced straight back off the back wall from Spartans. They've ended up with 3 again, so yeah, a lot of pressure on the retrievers there to keep on top of it. Single ball release for Raptors. Oh, great little counter. The Raptors got 2 players out there, equaling the players' score. Sorry, the player numbers. Right.
Both teams now with 4. The ball advantage in the favour of Raptors. That 5-second countdown will come, and an aggressive running counter.
Good double counter there. Oh, it wasn't a hit. Great accuracy. 2 wingers, but not missed. Oh, beautiful catch from the wing there. 4 balls coming at her, and she still managed to catch one and dodge the 3.
Yeah, we're trying to get you a Beasley Sheriff's update. I've got awful vision as it is, and unfortunately I can't see around scoreboards, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately the scoreboard's the wrong way around, so we can't quite see it there. Beautiful dodge.
End of the set.
One more set to Spartans. That is the 11 one, as you can put on screen as well. So that's the first set of the second half done. Got a few more sets to go. We're seeing 3 runners for those balls on both teams every set. I know sometimes teams can choose to just send 2 runners, right? So what's the tactic there? What's the benefit of sending 3?
I think when you're running that sort of middle ball, when you can play aggressive, easy single ball picked up by Jones, that maybe that single throw from Raptors not quite the smartest. But yeah, when you're sending that middle runner and you're picking that middle ball up and it's very close, but as soon as that ball is live, you're going to fire that straight into the opponent.
Right.
You're looking for that hit of the skies. Obviously, the perfect start to the step. Looking for that single hit from the get-go.
We're seeing teams, the team that does get 3 balls can go for the quick start there, but they tend to hold with an advantageous position so they can go for the run-up together. 3 balls on Spartan side, 2 on Stafford Raptors. Single ball release. Oh, great counter from Raptors. Single ball counter, and that gets Amy Jones out. And that equalizes the players again. 5 players on each side. Oh, that's a hit on Raptors. Counter from Raptors, but unfortunately didn't work out that time. Spartans are 5 players strong, 1 player up.
Yeah, the score on that Sheriff's currently up 8.
The Sheriffs are winning.
Sheriffs are winning 8-4 against these. There's a little score update for you.
We'll try to keep you as updated as we can throughout the day on scores across the whole, across the different courts.
Yeah.
Very strong throw. Oh, what a catch!
What a catch. That Barrington arm, very powerful, heads low, but a very good catch from Raptors.
I love the little rollover as well, made it look very stylish. 4 balls there, and a beautiful catch again from Spartans. Yeah. Is that Millington? Or is that the wrong kit?
Yeah, no, that is Lottie Millington.
Lottie Millington. Yeah, she's
again,
picked up catches pretty much every set so far.
And it's what Spartans have done very, very well. They've sort of distinguished who is throwing slightly out of time from Raptors.
Right.
And they're picking those single balls up, and it's what they've done so well. You've seen it from Millington, Bignell, and Jones.
Oh, hit there, cross court from Raptors.
Yeah. Becky Harper hit out on that one. I think Harry Bignell's in front of her, so Becky Harper's a bit blindsided from that cross-court throw. Yeah, as you move out of the way at the last second.
Oh, another catch from Raptors and then a block. But there's also a catch from Spartans there, so refs are going in to discuss quite what happened, what catch came first, who's in, who's out. Let's have a look at what the ref decision is. I think there's only a few seconds left in this set now. Our timer says about 6 seconds left, but let's have a look. Catch at the same time is the call. So 1 player out on each side. And
but
are they
also
bringing...
1 catch. They're at the same time, so they can sort of counteract each other.
There we go.
6 seconds, like you said, left on the clock. Back line from the reset.
Raptors going for that last throw. But they didn't get that hit, so that goes to Spartans again. Good effort from Raptors side, great effort from Spartans as well.
So 13-1 Spartans, like we said, scoreline probably not favouring Raptors as much as a lot of people would like to think. It's been very close in a lot of these sets and a very close game. Obviously Spartans, that experience throughout has definitely held them closing out the sets.
And the Raptors team as well, there's quite a few new faces there from the team they had at Women's League 1 last season. A great hit there from Spartans. So they're probably gelling together a little bit more as well. You know, this is their first game in National League as players. So probably going to take a lot of learnings from this and hopefully come back stronger in the future rounds of National League. 4 balls on the Spartan side. Great dodging. Raptors. Spartans are up 1 player.
They've got that 3-ball attack. Barrington, the left side. Normally, you say a lot of teams, like 95%, obviously, the left side. Is it a pop? I'd say
except for Phantom. Phantom's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that something that you've always done, or just like?
Honestly, I think so, but I'm not certain. I have to ask the Phantom's coaches. But yeah, most teams do tend to call from the left, don't they?
That pressure from Ellie Manns there, that right side, does give Spartans to get thrown from the middle.
Beautiful jump dodge there.
Yeah, really. Yeah, so Phantoms are probably the only team we're seeing.
I think so. Oh! It wasn't a successful dodge this time, but Elisa looked fantastic.
That's what matters sometimes.
Absolutely. It's all about style points. Ooh, great block there.
Holly Edmonds obviously not lost the power over the years. A good block from Ellie Nance as that mid-air dodge.
Four balls coming in, dodge. A lot of beautiful jumping going on, a lot of very fast balls coming both ways, but the players are very agile. Oh, that's a block, it looks like. Fantastic.
A two-ball attack from the left side. Becky Harper and Harry Bignell just a little high as Holly Edmonds heads low. But you can see maybe
a little bit high there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit
Raptors.
high, slightly delayed ball, obviously not looking for that.
Right, so we have some technical difficulties. We'll see if we can get that stream back up.
So a bit of radio play-by-play for now. Camera died.
So timed out.
So a bit of play-by-play action as the Selby tries to fix the camera. The score 14-2 after a draw in that last set, but Spartans are up 5 players to 2, and a nice hold from Becky Harper. That experience from that Spartan squad. It's the smart play that we've seen time and time again. Oh, and what a catch! What a catch. George fires single ball, but it's picked up there. Ellie Lancaster. But now 4 balls for Spartans. Raptors obviously have to start risking a lot here. Probably not that enough time to change the whole game and the score around, but that set difference is going to be so huge late on. But Holly Edmonds is hit first. It's called a catch and out. Lancaster goes to fire, and that 3 balls all delays throughout, not finding that clear target that they're after. Both teams 3 players. And Spartans now that 1 player up. And as time starts ticking down in this set, not long left. Spartans now with that 3 ball attack. but no target found. Still that one player up. They win this set, they'll be going 16-2 up, and they do. They get the hit, but the whistle is blown before Becky Harper avoids that dismay, and 16-2 up now in this game. Spartans with that clear victory. Not long left of the game now. And a timeout called that extra minute as the camera tries to get fixed. Technical difficulties throughout, but it's the audio description everyone was after. Like we said, not long left now on that clock. Score, Spartans in the lead in this game. They're currently up 16-2. Raptors been in a lot of sets and should be taking a lot more sets than they have done. Obviously, those 2 set points they have isn't from a win, it's from 2 draws. And like we said, Spartans have definitely been a lot more clinical in these sets, making sure. And as Sam Mason pulls out 1 minute 25 left on the clock, Alex Such is back to try and fix the camera in that last 1 minute 25 left in this. That timeout called from both sides now. And 1 minute 25 left on the clock. You can now watch that final 1 minute 25. Dixon gets the hit from the start. Obviously, like we said, bit of audio description while the camera was getting fixed. Raptors up in this set, 6 players to 5 from that early hit from the start from Dixon. Single ball from Elliott. Edmonds, ball pops up. That's unlucky. Maybe Raptors could have looked at picking up that single ball. But both teams even on players. Single ball gets thrown from Dixon on that top right side. Doesn't find the target. Not long left now in this game. Lancaster with a block. But no targets found. And the final whistle is called. And that is the end of the game. The final score in this game, 17-3. The final score in that game, 17-3.
We're just testing the mics at the moment because we've got one mic working, second one isn't, so we're going to see if we can get that second one working.
So that final score on the streamed court, 17-3 to Spartans. The final score on the other court did finish 12-8 to Bees. So Bees were actually down, but end up winning 12-8. So a good victory for Manchester Bees there. Next up on this court, we have Phantoms versus Valkyries. And I'll be joined by Sam Richards. Oh, cheers, mate. I was just walking. It's Valkyrie. I don't think it in a set. Got names, numbers. Glasses. Alex. How do you move this one, though? Yeah. Yeah, no. That's fine.
You guys want to keep this?
Yeah. We've got a lot of it in there. Oh. Table, yeah. Who is doing that? Do you wear these? It's up to you. You won't be able to hear me though. But you can't hear it through the headset. So I normally have like one ear off and I can hear. How are we doing it? Live or not live? Testing, testing. So the game gets underway. 30 minutes, obviously, in these Super League games. 2 15-minute halves. So I'm joined by the wonderful Sam Richards. How are we doing, Sam?
Yeah, good. Good morning so far. Just coached our women to a first win of the season.
Yep.
Now into commentating for the first time this season. Big game to start off the season. Third and fourth from last season.
Yeah.
So
Valkyries could have actually won it. It was very close there, top four, wasn't there? There was a lot of decisions that
till the second from last league meet as well. I think Phantoms were in there.
Yeah.
So both will be vying for that top spot this season.
The experience throughout these teams there. Alex Bain's looking for that single ball catch, doesn't quite find it. Valkyries, one of the other teams, sort of. It's quite a rare one actually, that a lot of these teams, they don't train together fully as a six.
Yeah. Well, they have started up their trainings, haven't they, recently?
Yeah.
I think across the social medias you've been seeing that. But as you said, it's that experience, I think, that gets them over the line. Some situations, a lack of training is then kind of offset by the experience you've got in the team. A lot of current / ex-international players.
Indeed. Phantoms up that one player early on. The wings, Jen Allen and Dalton Dite.
Yeah.
Jen, obviously, with that sling throw, it's something that isn't really favoured that much in the women's, but obviously Jen still favours that throw. It's a very good one from her. Time pause.
Emily down in the corner here. Looks like a lower knee. Knee injury.
Yes. That dodge, when you like twist bad on it, you know straight away.
A lot of danger for knee injuries, moving side to side, up and down. Yeah, as you said, Jen being one of them select few players that kind of go for that side throw, but she's really made it her own. I think if you underestimate her, then she's still going to be able to ping one off at you.
I wouldn't say as accurate as a lot of people would favour the overarm sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a natural result of that kind of throw, but still has obviously the experience to put it where she wants to, and obviously that's years of playing like that.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Lisa with a single ball throw.
Forcing something there, and Bro's just missing.
Yeah. Very close to the back line there. That those line refs just picking up on that. The single ball thrown.
April usually takes them.
Yeah.
It's a good shot down her gut.
It's what you're looking for, those single ball catches, nice and early.
Lisa's off again. And that is. Now, the refs are going to obviously discuss that.
Wow.
But from my perspective, I would have said 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
But let's see what they say.
I'd say a 2-2 draw. Maybe a sort of, it's that rule that we still have under the BD. That BD rule set. And there you go, Sam Mason, referee, just calls it 2-2. So both teams take 1 set point from that. Good decision?
Yeah, the right decision there from Sam Mason. Pausing the game, getting the refs in, conferring and making sure that was the right approach to take. Really good game awareness to know exactly how long was left from Lisa there. Get that shot off with the accuracy that was needed.
And although Valkyries haven't picked up any new players, they've got some name changes, I guess.
No longer Kat Hurren, but Kat Koenig. So that, I'm sure, will be one we'll be getting wrong for the next 30 minutes or so.
And that high press, the double running counter does take out.
And that's the catch from Kat Koenig.
That single ball catch, that's, you know, she knows where it's coming straight away.
Yeah, and then a catch on the return.
Phillips
That's how you're going to see these sets go. You're going to see these sets go back and forth. Look very comfortable there for Valkyries. 6-3 up. But one catch and you've returned the game round, and it's 4-on-4. Good trapping there by Kirsty on court.
And like you were saying a bit earlier, it's that court awareness that actually divides a lot of these teams. It's knowing where all 5 balls are at any one point. It's that obviously the rule set that we play here in England and under the cloth rule set under WDBF, it's the 5 balls.
Yeah.
Like I was saying a little earlier.
Great take. And then the line. Yeah.
Does take the catch and out. So ref's just going to discuss that one.
Yeah, as you said, with them 5 balls, it's making sure you know exactly where they are. If that single's gone behind you, there's only one place it can be. And as long as you're obviously aware and your wingers are doing the job, that is then kind of your responsibility to get that trap so you take possession. A little bit harder to keep them balls over the other side where Derby are. You do have that wall.
It's that rule set that will probably start amalgamating throughout the world. You probably, I think the best way for a lot of nations to progress in cloth will to be under one rule set.
Exactly what you said there. Sorry to ignore you there.
100%, no, court awareness definitely there.
Yeah, but you'll see a lot more amalgamation over, I think, the next few years. Tough at the moment to say it's EDF, WDBF, they've all got their nuances.
We've got 3 different rule sets, really.
Yeah, 3 different rule sets, really, and you could align with something that doesn't continue for a few years, and then...
And if you play in America, there's 3 different... Did you see Nationals?
Tuned into Cloth on Friday.
Nationals.
Let's not get started on that. There were 6 balls.
6 balls, yeah.
And it was best of 7.
Yeah.
But then I only saw,
we used to play, I don't know if you played way back when on the UK DBA, we played 3 balls and best of 5 and best of 7.
Yeah, because the whole day would be best of 5 and then the final would be best of 7.
I'm glad we moved to 5 ball. I think at the time a lot of people judged it.
But I wonder why the US hate the cloth game if they're playing it like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But I think under USA Dodgeball, they've always played it. I was talking to Mitch, the guy that does the streams. That's how they've always played it over there. So
yeah, it looked weird.
Yeah, I think maybe where we're so used to 5 balls, because they play the burden rule in terms of the throw ball, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Which is a rule set
and as well, I don't know if it's the camera angle,
but
the court looks so small as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong. Yeah.
I think where we've just come from Worlds and we were playing on like volleyball courts.
Yeah. Well, back to the best type of cloth.
Yeah.
5 ball, 30-minute cloth.
But it was, like we were saying earlier, a busy summer, Euros and Worlds.
It was, yeah. Busy summer for a lot of these players on court.
Hard on my wallet.
Yeah, same here. Hard on a lot of wallets around the world. Yeah. But you've got a lot of these Derby players. They've spent their time playing Euros, spent their times in Canada playing Worlds. And that can either negatively affect someone or positively affect someone. I know that in our club we've got a bit of lasting injury from the summer. Or you could come out, have rested well, and you've still got that summer where you've played dodgeball and you're not out of it too much. But each player is different, isn't it? You could have G here, who has loved playing all summer and has kept active, and she's never missed a beat, whereas someone else on court could be a little bit too tired from having such a hectic summer. But we'll see how people go in the first few league meets.
I think it always has its pros and cons no matter what way you look at it.
Yeah.
That 2-ball attack there.
Good timing.
Yeah. And it's early on in these games that both teams normally look at assessing sort of the play style. Over the summer, that's a long time where a lot of play styles could have changed. Alex Baines throws her single ball, doesn't find Kes Tranter, but Kes Tranter does find Alex Baines.
And it's if Phantoms can find that next gear this season, because they came in the Premier Super League last season, took a lot of teams by surprise, I think, with a game style that not many people were aware of. And then it was kind of found out more towards the latter stages of the season. So it's, do they just stay with the try and tested or do they try and switch things up? They're a very aggressive team.
It'll be interesting not to just see the development in the women's, but also across the men's later on in the day as well.
There's one thing I can actually see happening in the women's game and the men's game is a lot more slower dodgeball. I think coming out of Euros and Worlds, there are a lot of big games where you saw slow dodgeball win sets. Pay homage to Adam Ball that Adam Hill plays for Northern Ireland.
They love it, don't they?
Love the slow game.
How they took Euros, really, when you look back at it.
And exactly right now, Derby are happy to let that ball roll back, happy to let Lisa have free, win this set in 3 minutes.
Yeah, Phillips just...
And it's also tight, she's going to let that ball go again.
The back wall, we were talking a bit about it last game, back wall and net, although, you know, here it's a lot larger halls. If you're throwing against back wall and you don't want the balls, you're happy to let it bounce.
Yeah, and that's smart dodgeball from Derby there.
Yeah.
There's no need to force a play which risks a catch. And I think that's something, as I said, was put onto quite a big stage over Worlds. So there were a lot of teams that were, and Euros, a lot of teams that were playing that slow dodgeball and getting the wins and getting them comfortably. Austria also love a slow dodgeball game.
I think it's the teams that can divide both a slow and fast pace that will really put
you
them
can't be one or the other.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to be able to play fast, get that lead, and then slow it down.
It's a weird way of saying it. It's like a big game of, you know, rock, paper, scissors when you think about it in terms of sort of slow beats fast and fast beats slow and, you know, neutral sort of, you know. It's all about your tactics, and it's adapting to the other team's play style that really does divide these teams. It's what you are looking for time and time again.
It's a hectic exchange there.
Yeah.
Just one player going out.
And that's what I think all forms of dodgeball can become, you know, very hectic in that sort of that neutral zone play style. Although we don't have the larger neutral zone that we do at Euros and Worlds, the neutral zone still does provide a lot of aggressive counters in that middle of the play.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see a game which is attractive not only to the players playing it, but people outside of dodgeball.
Yeah.
If you hop onto YouTube and see a recommended video and you click it, you want something exciting to watch. And that's definitely what you get with a lot of these Women's Super League games, as exampled by last season, where you had everyone beating everyone.
And that's, I think, that is always sort of the great style of dodgeball that everyone likes watching, in terms of making sure that all these teams are beating everyone. When these teams aren't sort of coming up and being promoted in that
great
single catch from Dow and D, it's that low drop to the knees that we see from G time and time again.
It's making that decision to set for it, drop for it, and that's where you're most prepared.
That's where the single ball is very dangerous, because where the single ball might be very aggressive at times and very defensive at times, those more catching prowess players are going to look at taking those single balls all day.
And that's another catch from Derby off a single ball.
Yeah.
Confident with their catching today. Let's see what they're going to do here. The last set was a slow one.
As I can remember, Phantoms have always really been that, their women especially, have been that catching sort of side. And it's what really has, when they're starting to get into that catching swing, really put them, you know, above a lot of other teams.
Yeah, it's having them aggressive wingers, and then the people in the middle know their role is to get out of the way and make them catches when needed. And now filtering back into their slow game, so getting that lead in this set. 3 balls. If this is another single off of target, yep.
Happy to take that 1-for-1 throw every time.
6v1. There's no need to risk it. You've also sometimes got to look at the players they've got on the benches, etc. Valkyries only have 7 players nowadays, or not nowadays, in this lineup today. If you can tire one of them out, force a substitution, that's always a kind of a mind game that some teams want to enact here and there.
Yeah, Phantoms are 6-2 in this game, playing very good dodgeball and smart dodgeball at that, Sam.
Yeah, very smart dodgeball. Big start as well.
Yeah, good start, the aggressive start, that single ball from...
I think Valkyries do just need to get a grip of this now. I think if this set goes the same way, could see a big scoreline in the first half. Not to say that they can't bring it back in the second half. But as soon as he reaches that 8-2, 10-2 mark,
that mental edge.
It's that, yeah.
It's the momentum a lot of teams will always take in that half an hour. You know, like you said, you can call that timeout. You get the half time, and you can somewhat swing the momentum. But when you start getting no momentum and you start looking at 8-2, those score lines that become very dangerous. Maybe a famous game to go back to in terms of cloth dodgeball, that NI versus England at Euros 2018.
Yeah. 2018 in Newcastle. No, 2019. 2019 in Newcastle. Yeah. 10-0, 12-0 in the first half. As you say,
disaster.
the old saying of if they can do it, we can do it. If they can get 12 in one half, everything's possible. But it's having that mental game. Everyone in that losing side in that first half having that mental edge to be able to turn it round. And not a lot of players have
the reset. You know?
No. And that's what Valkyries really need now. That reset. If they win this, great.
And if
they don't, you can potentially.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, that's not the reset they needed. It looks like we've got not that long in the set because there's the whistle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that timer.
I believe that's the half time. So there would have been less than 3 minutes on the
half time. Yeah. So the reset kind of forced on Valkyries. Half-time whistle go in. Hopefully they can have a team talk, rally up for the second half.
Like you said, 8-2 at the half to Derby Phantoms, currently beating East Anglia Valkyries. But that half-time is very key in terms of making sure that you're saying the right things to the players. Because sometimes it's that half-time team talk that can be so key.
Yep. But it's going to be whether them big players can step up.
That's it. And so 15 minutes is all that separates Phantoms from that win. Currently up 8-2 in this game against Valkyries. Both teams title contenders last season, and this year it will definitely be the same.
Yeah, 100% going to be the same this season. I think maybe you might have one or two, maybe Storm might drop off from that top set, having lost Meg and Harry to us at Spartans. I think that top four is going to be...
Well, and they lost Alice.
And Alice
Consignori.
To new injuries.
Yeah, well, they lost their pre-season.
Yeah.
ACL, right? What it is?
Potential ACL.
Yeah.
Not heard too much about it.
Okay,
but I found the clip and it's like
it's horrendous.
Yeah, it's a stop.
Oh, yeah.
But her knee doesn't stop, and then she carries on. So
Probably one of the
hopefully
most
she gets
common
well soon.
injuries, yeah.
But I think you've got a few kind of comeback injuries as well.
Yeah.
Kiwi isn't potentially fully fit. I think she might be here today.
Yeah, she's here. She's here.
Yeah.
Meg Shine obviously leaves Bedford Rangers to go to.
But then that's good, because then you're bringing through a few new people that are new to Super League,
and people that might not have had the opportunity before.
And clubs are going to have them peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
There's going to be points where experienced players leave, retire, etc. And you're going to have to fill them gaps. And the only way people get better is with that first-hand experience.
It'll be a big day when I'm close to retirement, mate. I'm 30 this year. I'm getting old.
What will Rangers 2 do without you?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's the question everyone's asking. And by everyone, just me.
At least you're going to be kept busy when you do.
Oh, that's
commentating
it, mate. That's it.
Consistent British Dodgeball National League.
Yeah.
Might end up getting paid.
Wow.
But let's not speak too soon.
But Euros a while away. So obviously, after this year, it'll go to a 2-year, and World will obviously alternate within those gaps. This year, Euros is in Croatia, and Worlds next year is in Austria.
Yeah, so good for the European teams.
Yeah. So 10-hour flights.
Save a little bit of money. Oh, don't get me started on flights. That was a nightmare. But yeah, October Euros will be interesting.
Yeah. No confirmed date on Worlds, right?
No confirmed date for 2024.
There was talks of January, but I'm not sure if that was. Yeah.
God. In the snow. In Austria.
Austria's snow all the time, isn't it?
Yeah. No, not a fan of that one. Surely it'll have to be summer.
Yeah.
You've got to have a summer.
I think for like a lot of players to be able to play it, it'd have to be summer.
Yeah. October works quite well. You'll have the whole summer.
Yeah.
For Euros, you have the whole summer of kind of consistent international training. A long half time, or maybe it might be the allotted 5 minutes, and Valkyries just want to get on with it.
Yeah.
And you would do the same if you were in Valkyrie's position.
And obviously with that rule change that you can start on the back line, so you start in court, a ball retriever can actually give you that sort of foot advantage. It's actually a big change in terms of who is actually winning middle ball.
Yeah. The people that are fast are the middle runners. I think it benefits them even more. So the likes of, off the top of my head, Scotty. I think Scotty is going to be potentially even harder to get off that middle ball this season. But we'll see as it goes in. As it gets used today, obviously we'll see what happens, because I could be proved completely wrong. Because it will benefit people who can reach their top speed quicker. Obviously, it will. You move them closer to the ball, and they'll reach the ball quicker.
And so Valkyrie's only left with that single ball now, and Phantoms are going to have 4 balls in hand. They throw, but not the greatest timing.
Yeah, poor timing, I think, there from Phantoms. Target wasn't really moving. But this is picking them off. I think if you're going to throw that single and you're going to aggressively charge into a 4 ball, then you're going to have to get it.
But a double hit from Valkyries.
3, a triple hit. No, she's back. Play 4 is then called because the game wasn't paused. Two players out for not throwing.
Going on.
Or 1 player out. Just a moment of chaos there.
Yeah.
April's not thrown. She's going to have to throw. She's going to have to throw. Yeah.
Yeah, a very chaotic minute.
Yeah, and somehow they're still in the game. Ball be free. I think they'll take that.
Yeah, that double
After-
hit obviously put in their favour. Then they were on play ball, didn't then throw, so Jen then did go out.
G with another catch.
But a catch does then give that play a swing. Phantoms now up by that single player.
Something you didn't see a lot from Valkyries last season is giving away catches.
Yeah.
Um,
It's because I think they try to play too aggressive and throw that single ball when they don't need to.
yeah.
Against a team like Phantoms, that is definitely not
Yeah,
the
they
right
need to.
move.
It's hard now because you stick to your guns, and Phantoms might end up catching you more. You go a bit aggressive, but they just threw free, and it doesn't pay off. So you're in that situation where you need to try things you wouldn't necessarily try.
Phantoms, they're definitely given the lifeline in that set. Obviously, the chaotic minute that came in the middle of that set, they end up obviously winning. So a bit of a lifeline there. Now up 10-2, so a very good scoreline in the favour of Derby Phantoms.
I think that potentially is a timeout, or just referees conferring.
I think refs just a small discussion.
Because both teams are lined up ready to go, so we all know Sam Mason loves the conversation as a ref.
Yeah.
He does love that pause of time.
He loves it, and he likes to. We always like joke about it. He walks on court at the end of the set, and he like puts his
Hand up, walking on court.
It's saying that it was somewhat like the Danny Eccleston sort of thing.
Yeah, you can see he took a bit of inspiration from Danny there.
Yeah.
I've never encountered Danny, but I've heard a lot about him.
You never met him?
I don't think so. Seen the games online.
Yeah. Honestly, lovely
very good
bloke.
ref.
What a catch from Kat Koenig.
Catch, but then doesn't need to do that, I don't think.
Yeah. He's thrown that there, and you've just given away 5.
It's not the greatest approach, I think. I think you do one thing at a time and you slowly chip away.
Yeah.
As soon as you start panicking. As we talk about pauses in time, here's another one.
Yeah, so they pause the time for that one. Just a slight discussion. All the line refs do come in. I think maybe a discussion on the Lisa McMaster catch.
Yeah, it potentially could have been catching out.
Yeah, so he was called out first, I believe.
Out first, yeah.
Obviously, the referees don't have video replay. It was something that was spoken a little about in Euros and Worlds in terms of how would you do it. First of all, would it be sort of like a tennis sort of, you'd get a call?
I think it'd be tough to implement that, and I wouldn't want the game to stop too much. So like, if you do implement, how many chances do you give to a team to call? Because I know tennis you get 3, don't you?
Well, you get one. You get one. And if it was successful, you'd get it back, I guess.
But then again, it goes back to maybe the more logistical schedule side of things.
Yeah.
If it is
100%.
something that is incredibly complicated, you run into a schedule.
And yet again, throwing away the 4, obviously, Phantoms do have 4 on court, so they'll be able to use those 4.
And they've been using them effectively so far. What you're going to see here, they proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to see here is probably a hit, and they didn't do that this time. But Valkyries really probably do need to get hold of this possession here. They've given away 4 again, and Phantoms are going to love that. When you're up in a game and you've got 4 balls.
Yeah. They'll happily play the timeout, you know, they can afford to. Emily Nichols normally looks to go for those single catches down low, but actually faces away from it. Katie Suffolk also hit out in that same play there, so 2 players down now. And like we said, they can start to really slow things down.
Yeah,
now.
I wouldn't be surprised here if you see a single and you see a safe single. Yeah, exactly that.
This is where Phantoms, like you said, really start to slow the game down. But they
And I think that was
3,
yeah, but I think that's 3 controlled singles. And they know exactly where they're putting them. They're not catchable. All they want to do is give away possession enough that they feel safe. but without giving Valkyries
this is where
everything.
It starts really getting high risk, high reward, because, you know, as Valkyries, wasting the time out now, which is what Phantoms are going to do, isn't getting you anywhere. Oh, brilliantly poked out in it. Falcon DT with the...
Very big fish, but
yeah.
I think at that stage of the game, you can't be too mad if your player tries.
100%, 100%.
If April was trying that in the first set, that would have been outrageous.
8 minutes left on the clock. That's 5 sets. Plenty of time if Valkyries do the right thing.
But given the last 22 minutes or so, are they going to be doing the right thing?
Exactly.
I don't think so. You can see it on their faces a bit now. They've maybe resided to a loss. And it's damage limitation, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I think if they do want to be up there at the end and set difference comes into it like last season, you can't be losing 20-0, 22.
No, for sure. And obviously, when you are out as a player, you can pass the ball back in this game rule set, I guess, in the BD rule set. Like you said, their Valkyries have to risk it all. They're throwing at different targets, trying to catch Phantoms off guard. That's what I was going to mention. Phantoms actually call from the right. We were talking about it. It's not. I'd probably say it was about 95% teams call from the left. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Phantoms are the only team that I know that call from the right. Not really sure why, but maybe that's something to pick up and ask them why.
Was saying it's just something that I guess has always been handed down. I guess like every other team, you call from the left.
Is it because, as a right-handed player, potentially the angles of calling open up to being called on the left, but either side doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think.
A lot of the American teams that call from centre.
In the middle, and you got the Asian teams that do the fingers, don't they?
Well, the Italians still do.
Italians do the fingers as well.
Still call from behind the ball. Enough about World Dodgeball. We're here, obviously, with English Women's Super League, and in this game, Phantoms played a very good game of dodgeball so far. Currently up 12-2. They've done everything right now.
Yeah, you can hasten to add this, the perfect game of dodgeball from Phantoms. But I do think it's a mix of Phantoms playing incredibly well and Valkyries playing below par.
Not their best.
Yeah. It's not the Valkyries that you've seen before. I think, as I mentioned just now, you can tell by their faces. I think they've kind of. It looks like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
And when you lose in this much,
it's hard to.
You've just kind of got to grin and bear it.
There he goes for the single ball catch, doesn't find it, so now the score 14-2 up. Now, as Valkyries here, do you start looking for more catches and start trying to get into it, or do you sort of damage limitation?
100% damage limitation. 5 minutes roughly left, so 2 sets, 3 sets. You don't want this being an 18-2.
Yeah.
You'd rather it to be a 14-6. But how are they going to do that? I don't know, because their 2 balls haven't been working, their singles haven't been working, forcing it hasn't been working. So
we've got some inside YouTube knowledge that the stronger callers at Phantoms prefer to play at 1 and 2, so it makes more sense for them to call from the right.
That would make sense. Yeah. And then that's obviously something that they've just trickled down and has become the standard. Unsure what's happening over on court 1, but looks like Storm 2 are managing something.
If we can get a score update, we will try our best to.
Looks like 4 to Storm 2, and then I can't see Beagles.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I'm going to guess, a Beagles win. Back underway after the timeout.
That middle ball picked up by Dalcondite, but it isn't an aggressive start from the get-go. Like we said, Phantoms have really played that different style of dodgeball. They played aggressive when they needed to. They won those sets, and at the end of those sets, they played great defensive dodgeball.
Exactly, and another one with Dalcondite. I think that's 4 or 5 plus.
Yeah,
now.
Oh yeah. Drop to the knees.
Something to note down for other teams if they're watching this back.
Yeah. Single balls at G is a no-no.
Yeah. 2 balls at April is a no-no.
Yeah, and she's managed to pick that one out.
Yeah.
It is hit out on that one.
April's not going to be too mad at that.
Yeah. They've got obviously that delayed ball, and it's that delayed ball that's obviously picked Phillips out.
Yeah, and they took the 1-for-1 really at the end of that play. 5 on 3, still a very strong position.
And Maddie Smith now out. One of the, I'd say probably one of the better junior players that came up into the adult scene.
Yeah, she was kind of in that cohort of just before COVID, just after COVID, a Jamie Hughes era.
Yeah.
Kind of.
The what were they called?
I think she played for Burton. There was Burton Panthers, had a men's or women's team.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Maybe Leicester Panthers or
Leicester Panthers, maybe. Yeah. Something like that. And now she's kind of become a mainstay of this Derby team. If you were to pick an 8, her name would probably be in there.
Yeah. And still only 18, 19, so so many years ahead of her. When you look at sort of peak dodgeballers, you're really looking. What would you say peak dodgeball age is? Mid
22 to 25.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 22 maybe is the start of it, where you look at someone beginning to get that experience and making the right decisions a bit more. 25 is when you look at Nathan Christopherson coming into the England team around that age. Probably even younger than that still. I think he's a year or 2 below me. So that's when people start looking up to you.
Oh, and Darcy picked out the single ball, but is hit out surely as well. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised here if that is a catch and out.
Yeah,
it's an amicable decision that benefits both teams. In that situation.
It's an easy call to make. It's like a lot of people would say it's just like you favour, like you said, you favour both teams. It's the easy call.
Yeah, in them situations where it's especially when it's 1 on 3, it does still mean the team's still up. They're still on their own on the other side. As a ref, if it is kind of 50-50 in the ref discussion, or if it is leaning towards the catch, then you're more likely to give the catch. It's a very confident call to give a no catch at that point. No, April's just plucked out of thin air. It'd be nice to have a tally of the whole Derby catches that they've made in this game. I mean.
And what was a 3 versus 1 is now obviously a 2 versus 1 in the favour of Phantoms.
That's another set.
He's looked to turn the game around in the dying 5 minutes of this game. Phantoms take another 2 set points, Sam.
They're looking strong. Very, very strong.
And a good start to the season for them.
Very good start. They're going to be happy with this. I'm not sure who they're playing as their second game, but if they're playing Valkyries, who came 3rd last season, and they're putting this sort of confident performance, then whoever they're playing today, I think should be worried.
Second game will be on stream later on also, and they'll be playing Stafford Raptors. So they've got a game break. Next up on this court, we've got Storm versus Bees, and then we'll have Raptors versus Phantoms. Yeah.
Storm versus Bees. That could be a very good game as well.
Yeah, very good game. And plenty of dodgeball still to come throughout the day. Here until late on into the evening. About 20 to 9 we'll be playing till.
20 to 9. A long day. Very long day, but that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We love it, don't we?
That's it. And there's, like you said, a great start to Phantom season.
Yeah, and one thing I think we haven't kind of re-epitomised in it there is that their throwing has been great, their catching has been great. but they've survived as well.
Yeah.
And I think every aspect of the game they've done to near perfection. But yeah, Raptors, I would be very scared for your game on live stream coming up.
Yeah. And I think Valkyries really, after this game, I'm not sure if they've played their second game yet, they probably might be playing a game later on as well. They need to take that mental reset. What happened in this game, you shouldn't be taking forward.
No.
And Valkyries really have not found their footing, their momentum at all in this game.
No. But the reset, if not just the reset today, the reset after this league meet.
Yeah.
As our captain nearly put eloquently after our loss against Rangers last season, towards the start of the season, you don't lose the season. You're not going to lose the league based on one. You don't lose one game and lose the season.
Agreed.
So I'm sure they'll bounce on from this, and still be up there and still be beating big teams.
You just had to drop that in there, didn't you? About the spot.
Yeah. Well, I've got to appease the Rangers fans.
Of course, yeah. We're all here. I'm sure Rangers fans across the world are, thank you for that.
No worries.
But Rangers probably...
Yeah, if you are looking at the time, sorry, apologies for the time. If the time has been a bit out for the game, we will get the hang of it as we get into the day. But the final score, 16-4.
So like you said, a great game for Phantoms there. Not the greatest start for Valkyries, but like you said, looking to reset. Plenty more of the season to come.
Plenty more. 8 more league meets, and they'll be up there, no doubt.
Hello, and we've just got the start of the Bees versus Storm game. Yeah, and a slightly different looking Storm team to last season. I think there's been quite a few changes all round with all of the teams.
Yeah, but a good start for them. Obviously, they take out McCarthy from the get-go, but like you said, been plenty of changes throughout.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how the teams sort of settle into it. Like, I know the Bees really struggled in their first game, especially in the first half. I think they ended up being 8-2 down, and then basically brought it back to 6-8 at the half before eventually winning it. So obviously taking a little bit of time to find their feet. It'll be interesting to see how they do in this game, because I think Storm also managed to win their first game, which is, I believe, against Storm 2. So probably a slightly easier fixture to start with.
Yeah, but like you said, plenty of new faces in this Storm team, and some returning faces. Obviously, Keely McLaughlin comes back into that lineup. She faced a lot of injuries last year.
It's always the way where certain players just seem to be able to pick up lots of little niggles throughout and struggle to really sort of settle in, but they always seem to be the players that, when they do come back, they look like they haven't left at all. Oh, nice throw in there from Storm, managing to get a hit on Hannah Ward in the middle. And I believe they still got 3 balls as well, so they can look for another hit as well.
Yeah, and despite Storm maybe having those new faces, they'll definitely be very, very drilled. It's what they do time and time again, but Meg Shine cannot find that dodge on that left side. Obviously a new face to the Storm team. The transfer over the summer, leaving Bedford Rangers to join London Storm. Obviously she lives in London, so it's a lot easier for her.
Oh, there's a nice counter there. It's a bit unlucky there by Vicky to not actually make that catch. Managed to get down for it, but just, I think, a little too much oomph on it. Spills away from her. Interesting there to see a single run encounter rather than the usual double run encounter that is a staple of the girls' game.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a sort of more tactical thing, or just the player not really seeing an opportunity to go for the throw?
I think probably slightly on different books there. Probably, you know, it's sort of the default call is always running when you have that too, but if someone is against it, it's always sort of a confidence from a player that will look to go for that single ball when maybe that isn't always on.
Yeah. And exactly as we were saying, that the double running counter is a staple part of the girls' game. The Bees pull it off really well, get a lovely hit, and win the first set 3-1. So very strong start from them. Looking good to continue. And on to the second set. Bees managing to win that middle ball, so they've got 3. Looking to make a nice early hit off to start the second set.
Yeah, it's that aggressive sort of play that you want to go for, that middle ball that gets picked up from that centre rush. That ball is contested by both teams. Obviously, your 2 balls on the left for both teams are your balls, non-contested.
Nice little bit of clarification there for anyone that's new watching. And if anyone is watching, please do put any messages, talk in the chat, anything like that. We do actually have someone up in the box on the tech side of things, so hopefully you can get some shout outs and stuff like that. That was a bit of unlucky play there from Storm, just a little bit of cluster around, made it a little bit awkward, and it was just an easy hit in the end where the player wasn't even aware the ball was coming at them.
And as Evie McLaughlin there just lets go of that 4th ball, so Bees now do have that 4 balls, and they'll look to throw 2, but don't find the target. From 4 balls, really, you should be always looking at that guaranteed 1. Right?
Yeah, I would say Tandy did well there in realising that actually she can just do a very big lateral and get out of the way. And lovely catch there.
Yeah. One of those younger faces, actually, Anissa Khan. Been training
with us a little bit over the summer.
Oh, okay.
So I believe she lives in Luton, but actually goes to university in London.
Ah, right.
So for her, it's easier to play for Storm.
Yeah.
But 3
occasionally
years'
we'll
time,
train.
when she finishes university, I'd like to say that that's one we could hold on to. And a very good player, you know, for how young she is, learning the game more and more, and those single ball catches, she loves taking those.
And it's those sort of players that are only going to grow as they carry on playing, get that more experience.
Yeah.
But also, conversely, players will get experience in learning how to deal with them as well. So they'll realise that they can't throw those single balls, and you may see them actually pick up less catches and tail off a little bit. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how she manages to grow as a player. Nice catch there. Oh, double running counter. Unluckily, just slightly off the body. I think they were worried about being caught there, so played it a little bit safe.
Yeah.
Whereas I think they probably could have actually just, because there was 2 of them, gone for the hit and sealed off this set. But it's really clinical play from Storm this set. They've managed to keep themselves in really well and just... Oh, I think that was...
But a catch and out. Hannah Ward does now return to court. And Potter just with the easy dodge there. So Storm do pick up that 2 set points there, now 2 apiece. And like you said, definitely a lot better from Storm in that set.
Yeah, I think part of that may well have been that their first game was against their second team, where obviously they know how they play. Storm 2 are likely to be one of the teams at the lower end of the table, so it may have taken them a little bit of time to really find their groove going into this harder game. So maybe that has something to do with it a bit. And double throw at the ball carrier there, and well done there in managing to stay small, block one of them and not get hit by the other, allowing Bees an opportunity to get a hit with this 4-ball attack. And again, it seems to me that the Bees' timing is almost actually letting them down, in that they're too in sync with each other. That actually it means the people at the back of the court can just make a big dodge and step out of the way. And that was a lovely catch there from Rachel at the back of the court.
Yeah.
I don't think she was actually the intended target of that throw, but just didn't quite catch the player in front of her, and she was paying enough attention to sink that catch.
It sort of swung in, and obviously Potter's look at catching it sort of behind her. It's that covering player that is actually so clinical in a lot of dodgeball.
Yeah, it really is. It can massively change a set. Oh, interesting release there. Tandy leaving herself a little bit vulnerable there.
Yeah.
Going for a throw at a player with a ball. It's generally going to be able to be blocked, dealt with, and then it was an easy running counter.
And Emily Walker does call herself out. Obviously, hits just above the hand. Obviously, hands, when they're connected to the ball, are part of the ball and won't be called out. So anyone that is watching, I guess, from a lot further from around the world, that's the difference in one of the differences in foam to cloth.
I think actually that was quite an interesting thing to come out of the World Cup in Canada, that quite a lot of foam players now have gone, actually, if it works for cloth, there's a good chance it may work for foam as well.
Yeah.
And just take away that little bit of not necessarily cheating, but playing on when you may have been skimmed on the fingers and things like that, to actually just, by allowing it, make it a lot easier to ref and deal with. So Storm currently 2 players up, looking to try and see out this set.
Yep, 35 seconds left on the clock, just over 30 seconds now as the time ticks down. And these do have the 3 balls. Obviously, that new rule change this time around. Ooh. That ball can be kept off court.
Yes, the retrievers do need to make sure that that ball is clearly available, though.
Yeah.
So they can't, like, hold it down by their side.
Yeah.
And I think we may end up with a couple of people getting a little bit confused about what the rules are around at least these first few meets until it becomes more commonplace. And it's nice work by Hannah trying to pick them out, but there's just not enough time left on the clock.
And Storm knew what they were doing. They were happy to waste the time down, you know, and they played some smart dodgeball these last two sets. So now up 4-2 in this game, Tim.
Yeah, it's been really nice. There's been quite a few just sensible catches from Storm, I would say, where they're not reaching for them, they're not fishing or anything like that. They're just letting the ball come to them and making sure they secure those catches, which is really key to just secure a victory, really. And single ball off the quick start from Cheska there, an easy block, just sending the ball back, not wanting any part of it. And again, Storm seem very happy to just be sitting here with 2 balls rather than getting a 3. Do you reckon that's part of the running counter sort of plan? Keep the 2 so that you can do a running counter, or do you reckon there's anything else behind it?
I think it's definitely always changing up your play style. Yeah, good shot there, but Potter probably a little unlucky there to get that thing and get the dodge. She doesn't quite find that one as Bees take out a couple of players in that sort of swing. But like you said, I think it's all that change that you're always looking for, especially when you've got back wall sort of with you. You'd like to have the 2. The running counter can be a very, very successful one with back wall on your side. But Bees up 2 players. Jeska just with a single ball.
Ooh. Nice throw there from Tandy, making sure she kept it nice and safe, still with a chance of getting a hit, but also knowing that Storm were going to have 3 balls. It means that by not running up, they're at far less risk of the double running counter on the way back, and they can then try and pass over the possession to the opposition. Oh, and that's a bit unlucky there. I think she thought the ball was going to roll over.
Yep.
Unfortunately, didn't quite make it over in time. Released to try and pass possession, but just gave Bees a nice opportunity to get a hit there, which they then converted.
Some nice blocking from Tandy to start. She blocks the first 2, but that delayed ball in perfect timing does then take her out. So now Meg Shine a 1v4.
And we can actually see the retriever holding the balls off court here, being able to just allow quick passes in. And slightly upset by throw there. I don't think there was any bad language, but definitely not happy with herself there because of that play.
Yeah.
But I think she did have a lot left to do there.
A 1v4 with just under 1 minute is a big feat for any dodgeball player, especially when that 5-second timer you can play out. You're happy to slow the game down.
And especially at this level, everyone's so experienced with it and is more than happy to slow it down if need be.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. Players taking their time with it, and they're all aware of how to do it and how to do it effectively.
And Hind, although she took the catch in the end of the last set, doesn't quite find that one. She goes for the dodge first, and that delayed ball actually catches her hand a little off guard.
Yeah, I think that may have sort of been that in 2 minds. Dodged, going down low to her knees, sort of in a catching position, and then I think because of that she was maybe looking for a catch if one was coming to her, and it just a little too far off the body. Ooh, that was a nice pressure there. Probably a little over-enthusiastic release there from Tandy, because it was 2 players both definitely looking to throw in her direction, and she was still releasing early, so quite an easy punish, I would say, from Bees.
Yeah, and like you said, with that early release, and she's high up that court. It's the high risk, high reward that Tandy likes looking for. That time, obviously, she doesn't find it. But Storm are up 1 player in this set, currently 4 points each.
Oh, no. Oh, I think that was a double free throw to the middle player. And it was very unlucky because actually it was just a hit first where she managed to secure the second ball. Like, actually, if she makes that catch without being hit there, that is a massive swing, because that could have even been 5 balls as well. Little bit of confusion there. I think the ball bounced off Cheska McCarthy, hitting the Storm player out, and there was a little bit of confusion about whether she was out or not. Took a while to put her hands up, and the Bees player released. And I believe that was a hit after time.
Yeah.
So draw at the end of that set, which I think makes it 5-all. So very tight game so far. Good plays from both teams, but really just about securing that consistency, making sure they really nail down those mistakes to secure this match, I would say.
Now, obviously, the change in half is obviously to make sure both teams have the advantage of net and wall, or advantage or disadvantage, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah. It's also actually the reffing as well. So where you've got the line refs and the centre refs are told to look in a certain direction, there may be slight differences. One calls a play ball slightly faster than the other. By swapping it, should all even out, become a very fair way of doing it.
Never quite thought about it like that, but yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, it's one where a lot of players always end up complaining that a ref is taking their time, and it's sort of like, well, actually, in the next half, that just means you're going to be allowed to take your time as well. So it's something else to note.
But some great dodgeball we've seen so far. Obviously, both of these teams won their first game.
Yep.
We've not just got Women's Super League on today. All the streamed games from Women's Super League on this court, Men's Super League and Men's League One will be on this court.
Very nice. And yeah, just to reiterate, do make sure you post any comments that you've got, even if you're not watching live. It can just really help us see how people are feeling, see if there's anything we need to improve on, and really allow us to make this better experience for everyone.
Yeah, I think we're trying to push sort of dodgeball a lot more into the limelight, and I think we were talking a little about that earlier with Selby in terms of, you know, when these new sort of players, you know, for people that might not have watched dodgeball before, how do they find out about playing dodgeball? The best way, head to the British Dodgeball website, and there's Club Finder on there, and you can find all the nearest clubs that are around you. Head down to a session. Most clubs normally do first session free.
Yeah.
So why not try it out?
Chance to try it out.
Exactly.
See if you like it or not. And if you are also wanting to get involved with any of the commentary or the technical side of the streaming of the games as well, do make sure you message Alex Such. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to have extra people being able to palm off his work too. And yeah, teams are just lining up for the start of the second half now.
And Emily Walker picks up that middle ball. One of the quicker middle runners.
Yeah, very much so, which is, I think, slightly surprising because she's on the taller side of players, and normally they end up struggling to get there quickly because there's a lot more height to go up and then back down.
Would you
again.
say that the starting on the back line and you're starting on court now favours the taller players?
I'm not really sure. I haven't thought about it, but I have noticed that there are a lot of players that are struggling to find their groove with their stride length and things like that. So it's more just that it is a change up that players now need to adjust to and figure out. Oh, a very lucky catch there. Kiwi ran up looking to basically trade against two balls and ended up being caught. Time is paused while the rest discuss this, but I believe it was a catch. It was just a case of whose ball it caught.
Yeah.
Was it Kiwi's ball that was caught, or was there another thrown from the cross court?
I think that's often sort of the hardest thing to distinguish. Obviously 5 balls is not always the easiest thing to count.
No. It is also something that I know at other tournaments they have tried to make all the balls different colours so that you can then determine This was back in the 3-ball day, so I'm showing my age a bit here.
No, I remember that back in the day,
But it did allow you to then go, hang on, I threw a green ball. It can't have been my ball that got caught. It must have been someone else. But here, where we've got a very open venue, we need to have the same colour balls per court so that we know if a ball comes onto your court that's a different colour, that's not your ball. Just helps stopping teams playing with 6 balls and not realising it, or even down to 4 and not realising it.
When does VAR come into dodgeball? That's the question, Tim.
Oh, not for a while yet, I don't think. Not for a while yet. Then
one cool thing we had at Worlds, and I'm not sure if he was at Worlds, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but I don't know if you've watched any back, but in the finals we actually had like ref microphones.
Yeah, it was really nice actually being able to hear what the ref is saying in those discussions.
Oh, 100%.
Normally we're just sort of left waiting, and then hopefully the ref is clear with what the decision was afterwards. And a flurry of trades there. I think it ended up being a 2 for 2 trade?
Yeah, 2 for 2, but Storm obviously out on top in the set overall. They're that one player up. Wells gets hit, but Shine is taken in that trade. And Walker takes the catch.
Lovely catch.
Yeah, really nice. Single ball catch. She's looking for it the whole way. Adjusts her body. She's trying to get her chest behind that sort of catch.
I think Rachel did quite well there in that she threw well off the body, but Emily being able to lean out and actually take that catch pretty much off court at the point she caught it. So really well done there. And then another couple of trades means, be secure that set. Fairly convincing fashion at the end. So
yeah,
Storm just really need to settle themselves and calm back down, realise, let that be a one-off, go again, and just cut out some of those mistakes that led to that. Again, Emily winning this middle ball, Zoe deciding not to throw there. I think she realised that where the players were retreating with the balls, it was only a throw to her, which would likely have ended up in a block. So deciding actually set with a 3, reset and have a better chance of getting a hit, which unfortunately they don't manage.
And that's it. It's always about looking, where those balls are and sort of how they can work in your favour. Because if a ball's rolling on to court, it somewhat can work in your favour in terms of you're running up and the opposing team aren't quite sure of where it is at that point.
Yeah, it's a good point. And again, that timing issue that I think these are sort of struggling with, where they're all faking it exactly the same time, one big move from Storm puts them well out of way of reach from any of those balls. Oh, nice block there. Getting hit.
And that is so unlucky because Keely's got her hands up, she heads low, and the ball that hits her actually pops so high in the air. Emily Walker's got plenty of time, she puts her name on it, she takes that catch.
Now, that's an interesting one. Should that actually have been a catch, though? If it's a player that is out, then should that ball have been dead after hitting her?
It's always distinguishable, I guess, when those the players' hands go up. And is there still a live play within it? If she's out at first and her hands aren't up and she's still within play, if that ball then hits, then that ball is still live.
The players aren't sure, they're allowed to still throw.
Yeah. And a fake, but no throw.
I think they're trying to bait out the pre-throw there, just make things a little easier for themselves, and a little bit of a unlucky play there. Just left herself, I think she was looking at the other ball, saw it going to the player to her side, and just sort of let it hit her. But 2 nice trades there from Bees, just sealing out the set. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see a Storm timeout, and indeed, timeout.
You know the game too well. You know the game too well, team. You know the perfect time to call a timeout. And like you said, they've called it just there. Bees now up 9-5, and it was the perfect time for Storm to call that timeout. We might see a bit of change in play now in terms of the players that are on for Storm. They might need to change up their game style just a little.
Yeah. So what do you think Beth Redmond, who isn't playing today, but is in the box helping them, what do you think she'll be sort of saying to G up her team and get them back on the right track?
I think she needs to be talking not just about sort of making sure who they're throwing at, but making sure that if you are throwing, every part of you trusts in that throw, you know. You can't be half-heartedly going, oh, should I be throwing at this point? Should I not be throwing? Making sure every team member that is on court with a ball in hand is on the same page. That call has to be clear and concise. And we always say there's no such thing really as a bad call. It's always about how you sort of use that call and sort of play out that call.
And that is something actually I quite like doing with newer players to the sport, is actually get them on the calling wing, because it's one of the easiest and quickest ways to learn about why people calling are necessary making a call. Because you could be saying throw a single, and that could mean, oh, we want a hit, or it could mean, oh, just throw near their feet and just let's settle down, take the time. So it's really important that all players are aware of not only what the call is that is being made, but also what the caller's intention with that call is. So hopefully Storm have managed to reinvigorate themselves after that timeout and look to claw back this deficit.
And Kiwi McLaughlin, who's normally one of the fastest to that middle ball, Emily Walker is beating with ease because she's getting her hand so into it that she can flick it up and obviously back to her team without Kiwi even really contesting it.
Yeah, it's a little surprising that Bees haven't been able to utilise that quick start with that middle ball being so almost guaranteed for them, and they haven't been able to get many hits off a quick start, so they may be slightly disappointed there. Room for improvement for their next game, maybe. Oh, lovely shot there. Somehow managing to get between the ball and the floor to clip her on the toes. Beautiful shot. And the wings deciding to release. Oh, 2 hits on the counters.
Yeah.
Kiwi deciding to just go for face straight ahead of her. And I think it was Meg deciding to throw at Hannah, who was a ball holder, to keep the pressure on, and ends up getting it rewarded for it.
Oh, what a catch.
Glorious catch. The throw was incredibly well done, placed to the side of the player, going to hit them on the side of the leg as they went down, but managing to get her hands to it and just secure that ball. So Storm definitely in a commanding position this game. They've got the 3 balls, 3 players up, so really looking to see out the set early and put a statement down.
Yeah, just a small clean-up of any sweat that's on court.
Yeah.
Health and safety first, as per always, Tim.
Obviously. And luckily, we've not yet got to the Men's Super League, where there are several players that are notorious for it. Oh, nice free throw there, being able to hit out the middle player. I think that's Deanna.
Yeah.
Getting her out, evening the game up. Oh, that was very unlucky. That was nearly 2 catches there. But Vicky not able to secure it, just bobbled away from her. And I think that was very unfortunate for her and lucky for Storm. Oh, nice fake called. Being able to bait out both free throws, allowing them an easy throw. Oh, that was lovely tracking from Storm, but just the power slide on the knees managed to get her away from it. So really nicely done.
Really nice from Emily Walker there, and the Storm fake just trying to bait in Bees. The double running counter, but Kiwi this time, that high risk, high reward player that we always love to see, decides to hold instead.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision, especially knowing you've got an extra ball at the back of court. Going to have 4 balls, actually taking a little bit longer, bearing in mind there's only 20 seconds left of the set at this point, and just make sure you secure the win rather than risking any play. Meg, on the other hand, did not seem to be on the same page and decided, no, I'm finishing this, I want the hit. So
Wells does nearly take that catch, but obviously the power from Shine this time, just making sure to close it out.
Whistle well before the catch, but Boy, what a catch it was. Very unlucky there. Clearly didn't hear the whistle. Managed to secure the catch, but unfortunately doesn't really mean anything. A little bit of pride points though.
Exactly that, and after that timeout, they've now drawn back that first set into their favour, so now only down 9-7 in this game, London Storm. Both teams looking for their second victory in meet one.
Yeah. And Women's League is not disappointing as per last season, with quite a lot of very close games, topsy-turvy games.
Everyone beating everyone, we were talking
beating
about.
everyone, yeah. It's been really nice to see, especially since the women's game especially did used to be very dominated by the Beagles team.
By Beagles, yeah.
Being able to just stay at the top for quite a few years it was.
I mean, they won it last year, although
as well,
it was very
yeah.
close. So they've only strengthened their team this year. Abby Gower and obviously Alice Bonsignori joined that lineup.
Lots of new signings from every team, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it's really about how teams manage to gel as well. It's no good having just 6 incredibly strong players, the best in their position, if actually they don't know how to work together and players want to do different things. And one-for-one trade there, and I think Zoe was a bit unlucky to not actually be able to get underneath the ball. I think caught her in the face based off the facial expressions and holding her nose, but unlucky that it wasn't actually just taking a hit for nothing. Oh, and a lot of just throws into the floor there. And the girls on court having a little giggle about that, as neither was particularly sure about what actually happened. So luckily we've got 2 very experienced refs on court, able to clarify for those players, let them know. Oh, and 2 hits there, I think. I think that was just 2 single balls that they were able to get, securing a hit and preventing Storm from being able to do anything. Standard double running counter, and Kiwi managed to get quite small and avoid that, and was then even looking for the delay ball coming in, which very sensibly Christie held.
And this time only a single ball from Storm. Currently 3 players down, and they do have to play this out. Bees can happily play the slow game, but Storm do need to win this set.
Yeah, it's especially now, it's almost the point where it may be worth looking into stepping off. If you step off, you're guaranteed another 2 games. Although I say that, clearly did not fancy that and wanted to go all for herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really important in this situation to be aware of the time, and that the Bees team are likely to try and slow it down. You've really got to go for things, because worst case scenario you lose, but you've got enough time left on the clock to try and win the next 2 and at least take it to a draw.
And there you go, and in that scenario, instead of stepping off, what we call like aggressive, and just you're throwing down the people's throats, making sure that if they're going to catch it, it's going to be a hard 1-2 catch, just hoping that they might drop it along the way.
You may get that dropped catch and be able to turn that game around.
Yeah. So back to a 2-set difference in the favour of Manchester Bees. Now are 11-7, 3 minutes and just over.
Slightly over the 3 minutes left on the clock, so there should be a second game. So Storm should be able to, if they win both, they can definitely look for the draw. And it's a really strong start at the beginning of this set, that they managed to get a player out, get 4 balls off the start for that attack. Cross-court ball thrown quite high there, which I don't think particularly phased any of the attackers, and I think a sensible decision by Rachel to not throw at the player who was then looking for that catch afterwards.
Yeah.
Just wanted to keep hold of that extra ball. Not particularly worried about it, just make sure they've got possession to get those hits.
You never really want to be throwing at someone that set themselves perfectly in that catch.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for them to make that catch, and even if it doesn't come off every time, it's still that risky play. It was, again, lovely work from Bees on their pre-throwing. They've been really strong with that this game, getting quite a lot of hits from it. Do you feel that's the way the women's game is moving? Or do you think the double running counter is still the way the women's game is going to remain for a while?
I would say, actually, a bit of a weird one, that like trying to get possession instead, trying to force that to get 4 balls. You know, that high aggressive play, you're getting the 4 balls, because with the 4 balls, the attack can then be a lot more dominant.
Yeah.
Out of the 2 though, the running counter will always be my favourite. It can just provide so much domination high up into the court.
Yeah. And that's good honesty there. I think it just skimmed her on the way through. Again, these free throws just getting more and more hits, and I think the Bees are really feeling it. They've realised they're getting hits from it, so they're doing it again. And it was a bit unlucky there from Izzy, looking for that catch as she needed to, being down 2 sets down, so decided to go for it. Unluckily couldn't quite secure it, so Bees really in a dominating position now. And sorry for anyone watching on the stream, we seem to be having a slight technical issue with our time. It's deciding to go negative, so little treat for you guys.
But with only about 35 seconds left on the second half, I believe the set will end before that. So there'll definitely be a minute set after this, even if it plays
there
out.
Should be. I do believe there's about 10-15 seconds left. But also, the time we've got is an indication and actually has nothing to do with the rest time. And Bees managed to take it.
And with that, even though it was very close, they've now gone 13-7 up. And there'll be one final set. So Storm will look to take this just for the point difference. All those points will matter all the way till the end of the season.
For sure. Also, for anyone a bit confused about what Kiwi did at the end of that game, she decided, because she'd been caught out of the front of the court, she decided to step up to try and force a ball to bounce off her into the opposition, which would then mean they would both be out. She realised she wasn't getting away herself, so decided to try and make it a 1-for-1. And this is the last set, and Storm really wanting to just secure up that scoreline to make it a little more favourable for them. But both teams have played really well. And Emily giggling as she called herself out for that invalid throw. Just got free through, tried to step out of the way of it as she was releasing, and just wasn't able to control where the ball went. Oh,
good catch.
Nice catch there. Able to just force the ball to bounce upwards and secure it on the second attempt. Really nice work, meaning that they're 5 players up against 2. Oh, and she takes another as well, just to show off at the end, just before full time.
And that final score?
Final score, 9-13, Bees winning. And I think there was a lot of good plays from both teams there, so.
Hello everyone, Selby here, and we are on our, is it our 4th game? Or our 3rd game? Fantastic. 5th game of the day, 4th game of the stream, and we have Derby Phantoms first against Stafford Raptors. I'll have Zoe joining me in just a moment as well on the commentary. And yeah, we've just started the first set, so fantastic dodging from Bree on the Phantom side. Kirsty did get clipped in the hand. So we are at, April Phillips is off as well. So we are 4 versus 6 against Stafford Raptors. Raptors are doing a great job of dodging. Player 97 there clipped as well. We're 5 versus 4 at the moment. Phantoms approaching with 4 balls. Release 3 there, and the 4th one released by G afterwards. Gets 1 player out. Fantastic dodging from Stafford Raptors over there. So the current score is 0-0, first set. Oh, great block from Jen Allen. Wasn't a catch, so 4 versus 4. We have Zoe joining us very shortly as well. Let's see if we can get her mic up and running.
Is that working?
Yes, fantastic. Nice. Zoe's on. Great double counter from G and Jen. Welcome, Zoe.
Thank you. I need to now work out what's been going on while I've been away.
So it's the first set so far. We're 4 versus 3, Phantoms versus Raptors. It's a very lively game, this one. They're not taking it slow. Oh, fantastic catch from Raptors. Jen is out. And we are 3 versus 3 now.
That's good reaction speed there.
It is fantastic, isn't it? Single ball release there from Bree Darcy. Great block from Debbie Bateman. So we're seeing that this game is going a bit faster paced than the other games that we've seen, especially for the first set. Generally, double counter there.
That was really great accuracy. Sorry, I keep accidentally talking at you. But no, fantastic accuracy there on the double throw from Derby.
Looks like there's a ball off court. Yeah, so I was just mentioning, so far on the first sets of games, the pace has been a little bit slower, a little bit more steady. Whereas this game seems to have gone off to a cracking start. Both teams are going for those double counters, they're going for those 3-ball releases, a lot faster paced.
Definitely, and part of that will be to do with the fact that, you know, the first games of the season, those tend to go a bit slower. This is now their second game of the season for both teams. True. They'll be coming into this a bit warmer, a bit more used to the league again, a bit used to the environment as well. It takes a bit of time to get back used to St. George's.
Absolutely. But both teams are a little bit more warmed up. You can tell from their gameplay as well.
Ooh. Almost a catch there on Stafford's side.
Yeah, so 1 player out from each side. Phantoms now have 4 balls. Let's see what they release. Again, 2-ball release, middle 2 players. And now we have Raptors with 3 balls. A little bit high. Great timing from Raptors. A little bit high on the accuracy, so yeah, quick dodge there with the duck.
Yeah, well read there by Jen to dodge down. They were perfectly timed together and perfectly paired, but obviously makes it easier to dodge in that situation.
That's right. Raptors releasing 2 balls, 3rd ball gone there as well, double counter. She went for the catch, the tips of her fingers, but she was already hit before she tried to make that catch, so unfortunately it wouldn't have counted, but great reflexes nevertheless.
Slowing it down a little bit now. Derby know that they don't need to get too many more hits, so they're just getting a nice gentle pace. Ooh. Great throw by Alex Lancaster there, but she was lucky to not get caught.
Kirsty got hit there, fell to the floor, looked very...
It almost fumbled over
onto... It did, didn't it? Bree Darcy, but not called by the refs. Single ball release from Jen Allen. So now we've got 3 balls over on the Raptors side. Obviously 2 players at the moment, so let's see if they decide to hold those 2 balls. No, so they're utilising their retriever here. Retriever's holding the ball off court. Jen has blocked those 2 balls and they've decided to hold. Great decision there. That gives them 4 balls, so that gives them a strong advantage on this next rally.
That was really good retrieving there as well from Kez to be able to knock that ball back. It was definitely going to roll back otherwise.
Great release from Phantoms there. Raptors left with 1 player. Now Debbie Bateman's a strong blocker. She's
Very
released
good
that
catcher
ball
as well.
Fantastic.
Wouldn't put it past her to pull this game back.
Yeah, there is a 3-player difference at the moment, but a single catch can tip things much more in Raptors' favour. So let's see what happens here. And that's time on the first set. So first set goes to Phantoms. Good effort from Raptors. Again, you know, they've just been promoted to the Super League, so they're holding their own pretty well, all things considered.
That was good there on Derby's side to block back at the end. They definitely wouldn't have wanted to have to throw against Bateman there. So to force her to throw each time definitely helped them keep that set alive.
Oh, beautiful catch from G, Gintari, Dalkintite.
Fantastic catch.
Single ball release, again, it is riskier, easier to catch. Went for a counter there, Raptors. Ball's gone off court. So a bit slower pace now. The Raptors are now with 3 balls. See what happens. Great dodging from Bree. 4 balls on Phantom's side. Now, with the courts that we have at the moment, obviously, if there is a release, it's very unlikely to go back to the other side, isn't it? So when you've got 3 balls, great hit from Jen there. That delayed ball last. Right, so Phantoms have taken 2 Stafford players out. That's 3 versus 6. Good decision to dodge that one from Maddie instead of going for the catch. Yeah, so when you've got 3 balls and you release 2, that's unlikely to come back, and it leaves you in a riskier position, doesn't it, Zoe?
Definitely. It's slightly more likely to come back if you're on Derby's side right now, because there is a wall right all the way at the end, but it is quite a long way away, and it's more likely that the ball retrievers will get it before it comes back.
And that's why the retriever's job is just so important.
Massively underrated part of dodgeball.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially in this kind of court where, you know, there is a risk of that ball bouncing back, especially on the wall side of the court. So the retrievers need to stay on their toes, make sure they're trying to retrieve those balls as quickly as they can.
Great hit there by Derby.
Yep, raised her hair.
They're really managing to shut Manon down over on Stafford's side. That's really good of them to take her out with those
3 ball release. Oh, single ball release. Good dodge from Bateman.
Again, they'll be wanting to force Bateman to make the throws in this situation. She's a very good thrower, but she's, I'd say, a better catcher than anything. If it goes towards her gut, she'll get it.
She's doing a great job at survival, isn't she? She's been the last player in for both of these first sets. And I think drawing out those sets, a beautiful catch from Kirsty Lunn. It is difficult when you're in that position, isn't it? As the last player, you can only release 1 ball at a time. So
it's hard to know what to do in that situation. Yeah. As a catcher, my instinct would be to throw into the net on the other side to try and force Derby to make a throw at me. But actually, you've got 4 players in front of you. You have to at least hit one of them out. A catch isn't going to make you win that. So really, really tricky position to be in a 4v1.
We're on to our 4th set now. Comment from
fantastic
Hayden.
catch there.
Saying Derby's catching has been on point.
Absolutely, yeah. Very catchy team in general, Derby. It's a tricky one playing against you lot because anywhere you put it, they seem to just be able to catch it. I mean, that catch there by G, she calls it basically at ankle height, and normally that would be a perfectly safe place to get a ball, but not against Derby, not right now.
Got to a just over here. Derby and Stafford Raptors are even at the moment in number of players, 3 versus 3. So good effort from Raptors side. Good dodging again from both Kirsty.
Great pressure there from Stafford to get the ball to come back. Though I suspect Derby didn't really want that ball anyway, so dubious whether or not the pressure made any difference. Good practice.
Oh, that's such an unfortunate block from Raptors. Yeah, it is very difficult when, especially you're on the run-up, you're ready to throw that ball, and it is very difficult to react to that block coming at you. Oh, unfortunate. Great accuracy from Phantoms.
Yeah. 1v3. Slightly better off than a 1v4 like the last ones. Catch here would turn it to an even 2-2.
And again, Raps are holding their own. They're making it through to the end on most of these sets. So
for once, it's not Bateman.
Great dodge. Yes, for once it isn't Bateman. You're right. Player 34. We have Ellie Ford left on court.
Ellie Ford? Doesn't look like Ellie Ford.
Now it's 1v2. Quite a close set, this one. Good decision from
Ellie Ford, but I'm not sure who that is.
That's not Ellie Ford. Okay, that's
Ellie
my
Ford's
mistake.
already gone out. She was the one who got hit with the ricochet shot earlier.
Oh, that is a fantastic
catch
from not Ellie Ford. We'll have to find out her
and then
name.
Immediately a block.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Derby's fantastic precision there. They threw the balls at exactly the same spot, so a catch does make it a catch and a block. It does feel a little bit unfair when that happens, you're getting punished for being so accurate.
And Raptors have taken that set. That's their first set of this game. So the score is currently 6 to Phantoms, 2 to Raptors.
Hannah Dyer, maybe?
We'll find out the name of that player shortly. It doesn't help that some of them are wearing borrowed kits as well, so the surnames on the kit are different than the names that we have on the team sheet.
And a lot of these players haven't played for Stafford before. Ellie Ford wasn't around last season, but prior to that she was playing at Warwick, and before that she was a Bees and Muds player as well. So.
And she's also been in international teams, hasn't she? Has she been on the England team, as far as I've heard?
I can't remember. That feels really bad that I can't remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some great caliber of players, obviously, in the Women's Super League.
But no, she's a very good player, but yeah, hasn't been around last season. Then you've got Manon Dixon, who's all the way on the right-hand side for Stafford, who isn't normally a Stafford player. She plays for Carmarthen.
Okay,
but Carmarthen don't have a women's team, so...
making a debut with Stafford this season.
Exactly. And Alex Lancaster, who's second, if you count left to right, second in, plays Wales International, same as Manon, but plays for Ronda
Just
Dragons.
made a fantastic jump dodge there as well. So
really, really, really solid player.
4 balls released from Phantoms. 2 beautiful dodges. Oh, hit there on Maddie on the wing. It is difficult when you've got 4 balls flying at you to dodge all of them. She did dodge 3, but she got hit by that one, and that's... Oh no! Right, for everyone hearing the size in court, someone just kicked a ball over to another court, and it actually got stuck in the beams on the ceiling. So that has... That is a ball that's unrecoverable. There's no way that is coming back down.
It's stuck in a groove of a girder, so it's not even possible to knock that back down. That's gone forever.
Back to the game.
That's quite funny.
Oh, fantastic catch. Out. Did G make a catch there?
Yeah,
beautiful.
She did. She's been on fire this match.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that many players who don't normally play for Stafford, it is an interesting one to watch them and just see how well they're playing as a team. I reckon as the season goes on, they'll definitely get that cohesion a bit better. But
we noticed that in the first game as well. That was a stream. That was a Raptors game, and we were mentioning that obviously there's quite a few new players in Raptors there, so it must be getting used to each other and how everyone plays. So they've obviously gelled a lot better in this second match. They're holding their own.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going to have an upwards trajectory as the season goes on. It'll be interesting to see how this match plays out the second time it happens later in the season.
Now that's a set. Again, Raptors have taken that set, so our score is 6-4. And I
close.
believe that is half time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like half time.
Yeah, 6-4, so only a set between them. That's a very close scoreline.
Yeah,
Raptors will be very happy with that.
Yeah, especially I think Phantoms ended the season in 5th place perhaps, but it was
I feel like you
very,
should know
very
that.
close. Yeah, I definitely should. I'm on the seconds team, so you know, I don't.
You don't pay attention to them much.
I should be better. I'll do better next time. But it was a very close season for the Women's Super League last year in the 2021-2022 season. There were 5 teams that were very, very close all the way through to the last couple of rounds. So it could have swung any way, to be honest, and Derby Phantoms was one of them. So obviously one of the top teams in the league, and Stafford Raptors, who have just been promoted, so that's a fantastic score in the first half. I'm sure Raptors are quite happy with that. And yeah, let's see what happens in the second half.
Phantoms definitely had an interesting trajectory as well through last league, because they started off really, really strong. They were definitely the team to beat by Christmas. And then essentially all the other teams got the hang of them. So it's interesting to see whether or not Derby can replicate that, seeing as now we all know how you guys play. But Raptors are doing very, very well to read the game. They've, you know, when they're going down, Raptors, they're going down quite hard, I would say. You know, 4v1s, 3v1s, that's not a fantastic way to end a set. But when they're winning their sets, they're doing it really well. And that is, you know, just about keeping it alive.
That's right.
One set between them, it's really good.
That liveliness has paid off in the first half.
Interesting as well, the headspace you're in a match like this. If you're the team that's just been promoted, you come into this with basically nothing to lose. You know, you've got a point to prove, but it's not as if anyone's going to hold it against you if you lose to Phantoms. I feel like Phantoms might, you know, take it a bit hard on themselves if they do lose this match. And so,
a bit more pressure, isn't it? Especially when
pressure to perform,
you've been at that top of the league in the last season, so there's a bit more of an expectation to live up to.
Absolutely, and some teams do really well under that pressure. You know, we might see Phantoms kick up into an even higher gear in this next half, but they might also just start to lose their heads a bit. So definitely a big mental game going on into the second half.
Again, round 1 of the National League, so still very early days. It's an exciting round. We're super glad that we're live streaming a lot of games today. We're going to have live streams on throughout the whole day. If you want to keep track of those, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also turn on that notification bell, because we will have 3 different live streams on today. This being the first one, there's going to be 2 separate live streams on as well for the Men's Super League as well as the Men's League 1. So if you want to get notified and get the links to those, you can just subscribe and turn those bell notifications on. Call to action inserted.
I was going to say, well
Let's
done. That
carry
was
on.
very seamless.
Right, half 2 about to begin. Cute scenes from both sides, dancing from Raptors, holding hands from Phantoms, and we kick off.
I do love League for those kinds of moments.
Oh, great dodge from player number 5.
That was very close, that block there from Derby. They almost blocked into themselves. But good reactions to avoid it.
Yeah. Single ball release there from Phantom, so maybe they're trying to slow the pace a little bit.
Yeah, what would you be trying to do right now if you were Phantom? Quick score up at half-time.
Good question. I think, obviously, there's quite a few experienced players on both teams, quite a few international players on Phantom side, so it is quite a single ball release there from G. It is quite a strategic team. I think we're quite tactical as Derby Phantoms, and we do try to slow the pace down if we think we will have an advantage.
Absolutely.
So that's what I assume is happening now. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of single ball releases.
Exactly.
Oh, 1 hit on either side, so teams are still even, 4 players each side. Yeah, so I'm assuming they're just letting Raptors do most of the heavy lifting, but trying not to let them have 4 balls. Fantastic double counter, and a catch from Kez. Off the rebound from player 12, Manon Dixon.
Yeah, she had absolutely no defense up there, and that's tricky because no one else on court had a ball, but actually there were balls rolling around off court. Their retrievers were just a little bit slow getting the balls back on, so tricky to defend someone if you don't actually have a ball to do it with. But great reaction speed
from Raptors. Beautiful hit on Kez Tranter there.
Derby definitely seems to be doing well with those single throws, and Stafford seems to be relying on getting group throws, getting the hits in there.
I think Phantoms are generally a stronger countering team, So they will try and do those single releases so they can go up for all those double counters and get the hits that way.
Absolutely.
So 3-ball release there.
Oh, I thought
So
she
a
caught
hit and a
that.
catch. Is it catch and then hit made?
I don't
Looks
know.
like
There
it.
was a massive cheer, but I think it was a Derby cheer, so I imagine no catch.
Right.
Raptors not
Get that
really
double
managing
counter.
to protect each other on the way back there. They did actually manage to get a 1-for-1, but when you're down 2 against 4, or as it was a second ago, 3 against... Oh, Ben's off. Yeah, then like you don't really want to be getting those 1-for-1s right now for Stafford. It's better than nothing, but it's still not ideal if you're down. But like you say, Derby are very good on those running counters, so it's tricky to know how to play to that if you're not defending each other on the way back.
That's right. So it's 3v2 at the moment. Again, a very close set. So Raptors are holding their own pretty well. Phantoms are up by 1 player. They've gone for that single ball release. Good decision there from Raptors to hold that ball. And that is a set. So Phantoms take that set. Our score is 8-4. Yeah, great game to watch, don't you think?
Very, very good game to watch, yeah. It could be interesting to see what Stafford do now in response to going 2 sets down. That definitely adds a bit more pressure to them to start trying to win back sets. And Derby will be, like you said, slowing it down massively now.
Quick start there from Phantoms. Great. Oh, was that a hit or a dodge? That's a dodge from Debbie Bateman. Phantoms now have 4 balls.
Holly Edmonds holds the only ball on Stafford. Great dodge there by Ellie Ford. I love the little hands out at the end. That's a technique that you need to use in wall-to-wall. It's not necessary at St. George's.
True, it just turns into a
exact same
replay.
tick. Yeah.
Turns
something
into a
you do.
replay. Well, there's no harm in it. There's no harm.
Exactly.
Great counter from Bree Darcy there. Gets out Man and Dixon. The cross-court hit. Again with 4 balls. Phantoms approach. 2-ball release. Looks like a great jump dodge from Debbie Bateman again. Toe pick from Bree Darcy.
Phenomenal toe pin from Bree Darcy against Alex Lancaster. Really taking out, Alex Lancaster's a very good counterer, really good at running up, and that's definitely a strong hit to take out at this point.
Oh, nearly a catch from Maddie Smith, not quite. Double counter, great dodge from winger not Ellie Ford.
Whoever
Still
that
need to find
is
out
wearing
her
the
name.
shirt that we thought Ellie Ford would wear.
Good dodge from Jen Allen. And from Kes Tranter, big jump on the run up to the centre line, and they've ended up with 4 balls again.
Derby doing very, very well at staying alive and dodging.
Ooh, block upwards, great. Yeah, it feels like Stafford's Raptors have an opportunity to improve their ball possession a little bit, don't they? Phantoms have ended up with 4 balls in quite a few occasions. That single ball release from Holly Edmonds got easily caught.
Yeah, like you say, you need to improve possession, but then Derby are picking up catches left, right and centre, so you don't really want to be going alone because they're going to get a catch no matter where. I mean, that was, ankle height again.
Right.
But, if you throw 2 balls, you're giving 4 balls to Derby. Derby's not necessarily going to accidentally give you a ball back. They're a well-drilled team.
And when you've just got that single ball left on your side, when you've not got someone else to come support you, even if you don't go for the double counter, just having that second ball to distract whoever you're going for the hit with really increases your chance of getting that hit. So with those single balls, that is a catch. Is that a catch? Let's see what the refs say.
I believe that was a catch. The question, I guess, would be whether or not it bounced off of April into Den and then back to April.
Either way, Phantoms were quite a few players ahead. So that set goes to Phantoms, and our score is at 10-4 to Phantoms. That was beautiful, whatever just happened there. It was difficult to
Stunning
figure out.
bit of very confusing dodgeball there.
Absolutely. This is where I love just looking back on the live stream over and over again, just trying to figure out what exactly happened. Playing at 0.25 speed, watching where the ball goes, frame by frame.
It's so confusing as well as a player, you know, sometimes you'll be in the middle of doing something, you hear a massive cheering, like, oh, did someone do something behind me? You know, gonna have to watch it back on the stream to work out exactly what went down, so very fast-paced game with a lot of things happening. Is that a Stafford timeout, I believe?
Yes, it is a timeout. I guess it is from Stafford Raptors' side.
It must be, yeah.
Little team conversation on both sides. Mood looks pretty positive on both team sides. Phantoms obviously are quite happy. I think they were quite happy with that catch. They're also 3 sets above at the moment with how long do we have left? About 8 minutes left.
Winning the way they just did Phantoms there, they'll be running on a massive high as far as like headspace, so it's a good idea to call a timeout to try and at least put a little buffer there, try and cool them out so that way you can fight back with Stafford.
But Raptors are looking pretty positive as well. I don't think their spirits are down at all. I think they've just had a bit of a regroup to discuss strategy, see what they want to do in these last minutes of this game.
In the background.
Oh yeah, some twerking at the back of the court there.
England manager Jen Allen twerking on court.
And we're off. Again with that quick start, Jen Allen misses.
Such a tricky player to predict, Jen Allen. She throws without looking, which is just terrifying on the
She does, yeah. She
end.
has a very strong throw, but it is a sidearm throw, so she rotates her whole body away from her opponent, actually. So there is a split second there where she's quite vulnerable because she isn't looking in front of her, but she has an absolute bomb of a throw. So,
yeah,
you know, pros and cons, pros and cons. Great block there from the wing. Raptors 3 balls. They release 2. Bree and Jen come for that little counter. And they hit the winger.
That looked like that was almost a catch. It's one of those ones where it loops over the ball and then goes back down between your elbows.
Unfortunate hit there on Holly Edmonds. 6 players on Phantoms, 4 on Raptors side. Single ball release.
I thought that was a ping, but looks like
it was
being
very
called
close, wasn't it? So it was called a bounce, but again, Kez is very strong with those toe pings, just like Brie Darcy as well. Again, coming up on that counter.
Ooh.
Good dodge from player 97.
I feel like both those players would be wishing they'd actually managed to get that hit in. Close quarters, very, very close one to miss. So impressive that they both missed, to be honest. I think they were both aiming for a 1-for-1.
Single ball release from Brie Darcy.
Cross court, which is tricky to get.
Raptors have been doing better with their ball possession.
They heard your comments.
They did. Maybe that's what they were discussing in the team chat. But they do tend to have 2 balls, most of the time 2 or 3 balls, so that is definitely a stronger position to be in.
Seen any catches on the Raptors side as far as I remember, so
yeah, good point.
Interesting. There are some very good catches on there. Ellie Ford, who's currently in number 32, is a very good catcher normally, but just hasn't had the opportunities. It's been sort of aimed at.
There have been a few single ball throws from Phantoms, but they do beautiful catch from Maddie Smith there. Debbie Bateman out at 5 or 6 v 2 at the moment.
Yeah, that was floating quite high, that ball. It was a bit of a gift.
Beautiful jump dodge there from Raptors. Yeah, so when Phantoms do release single balls, they do try to throw in between players or throw off so that if it is, beautiful Kez.
Another catch from
Kez. Yeah. Again, so I think if you are releasing that single ball, if you're not going for the hit, you know, you want to aim off a little bit so that if they do try to go for a catch, there is a chance that they'll miss. Or best case scenario, they just don't get caught, don't get hit.
Absolutely. You have to wonder as well whether Raptors are starting to get a bit knackered out to be honest. They've their throws last frame drifted quite high, and Derby
great
getting
hit. Oh, great hit from both sides.
Or a great hit rather. Yeah, Derby have obviously been getting good catches, but they're actually much higher and much easier catches to make now than they were at the start of the game. It's definitely something Stafford need to look into, is how their games change as they go on, as they get more tired, and whether their accuracy starts to wane a little bit.
Again, Raptors there chose to release 3 balls, and they were great timing and accuracy, but Kez Tranta did manage to block and dodge them,
Fantastic.
which then leaves Raptors vulnerable with a single ball. But now they have 3. So let's see how this plays out.
Good pressure there from Bree and Kez. But they don't need to release, they've got the game under control, so. Like you said, lots and lots of singles now from Derby. They're just playing it out nice and gentle.
That's right. Again, choosing to hold. Kez has released that 1 ball. I can only imagine she was pretty confident that she'd get the toping there. I think at this point, Phantoms are comfortable with giving ball possession to Raptors because they just want to blow out the game, don't they? They're 3 sets up. There's no benefit to them speeding things up at the moment.
And they've worked out as well that they can get the catches. It doesn't really matter how many balls you give to Raptors, they're giving away catches. Tricky position to be in as Raptors. Hard to know how to change up the game at this point. Not much you can do.
Raptors have done well. It's 4v4 now, so at the moment it's a draw. We've got about a minute left on this set, so it can go either way. Play 3's been called to Raptors. 2 balls have been released. Third one's out there as well.
That looked.
And they managed to get a hit on Phantoms.
It was a close one, almost an invalid throw actually. That 3rd ball that was released.
The Raptors are up by 1 player. And play 2's been called. So big pressure from Phantoms there. That pays off. They managed to get 1 player out, so it's 3v3 again. Ball release.
Great dodge there. Nice and low.
Again, it doesn't really matter at this point if they release like 4 balls, if Raptors have 4 balls, because they only have 3 players on court, so
there's only so many arms you can use.
Exactly. And that's time. So is that a draw? 3 on each side?
Set, I believe so, yes.
Let's have a look. Should be 13-5. Yeah, that's a draw.
How long's left on the match now?
That's a great question. I don't know. Do we know how long's left on the match? Is this the last set? Okay, last set-ish. So we're looking less than 3 minutes left in this game. At the moment on our screen it says about 1.5 minutes left. Again, the screen timer can be slightly different than the rest timer.
Great aggression there from Bree. So fast running up that wing. That was not a real ball.
I was wondering what happened there for a moment.
I think it rolled out from underneath the table.
Right. The Phantoms with 3 balls now, Raptors with 2.
Phantoms with 6 players. Against Stafford's 4 now or 5?
4, that's right.
Yeah, that was a hit.
The Derby Phantoms up by 2 players. Great little dodge there from Raptors. Again, holding their own. They've played out all of these sets. Not any of the sets have ended early, so...
Absolutely. That is the nice thing with Women's Super League, is there's not really any teams that you expect to be, you know, demolished or anything.
Absolutely, it is a very even league.
Point differences and stuff like that. Even last season, you know, some of the matches between top and bottom of the table would come down to scorelines of 14-12. It's a really, really competitive league, and well done on Stafford for really taking it to Derby so early in the season.
And it looks like that is time, full time. So the final score is, I believe, 15-5. So Derby Phantoms take that game. And I believe this was the last game of the Super League live stream.
Women's Super League.
Well played to all of the teams today. Zoe, thank you very much for your commentary.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much as well for your commentary.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Yeah, so it's been a fantastic first few games. We have 2 more live streams coming up. So the next live stream is going to be Men's Super League. So stay tuned. That's going to be starting very soon. It will be a separate live stream, so turn on notifications if you want to watch the men's games coming later today. And we should have another about 9 or 10 games being live streamed. Again, we'll have various commentators throughout the day. So yeah, hope you all have a great time. See you around.